Hi there, it's Sandy, your sister and your friend. Welcome to today's video. I just wanted to say how much I appreciate that you listen to these videos that I put out there. This is just my journey to God, and I'm just sharing it with you. And I hope that something I have to say does inspire you or make your life better or easier or more filled with love and further along as we journey here together. Today, I want to say that you are just like God. Your beingness is an actual extension of God's beingness. And there is nothing that can alter what God has created. There's nothing that can change you or me. There's nothing we can do now or have done in the past that has changed us in any way. What God created as perfect stays perfect because it is an eternal loving thought of God. And since a part of something can't be different from the whole, we actually share all of God's attributes. All of the characteristics of God we have, they are part integrated as part of us or as us. And we share these characteristics of God with every other person who has ever walked on this earth. And some people who've been on the earth ahead of us discovered who they are while they were here. They looked and determined with God's help, the Holy Spirit's help, they had insight into knowing what their purpose is here on the earth. And then they went on to live from their true identity as knowing who they are to fulfill that purpose. And because we are one with those people, because we're all one with our Creator, we're not apart from them. There's nothing that anybody else has ever done here on the earth that's not available for us to do that or even more. And that means that we can aspire to be like any person that we see as a hero who's lived before us. That could be a religious figure like Moses or Muhammed or Jesus or Buddha. It could be someone who had great compassion like Mother Teresa. It could be someone who had a great passion for freeing other people like Gandhi or Martin Luther King Jr. Now, we've heard hundreds of stories about heroes like these, and there's actually in the Bible, there's a chapter 11 in Hebrews that lists Old Testament heroes, and they're given to us. It's actually called the faith chapter, and the stories of these people from the Old Testament are given to us so that we can see that what living a life of faith is really just your belief system, your perception, living a life of faith, what it produces in somebody's life. And these stories are given us for us to aspire to. Now, Jesus is a great example for me to use because I know so much about his stories that are given to us in the Bible. And we're told that Jesus spent time alone with God early in the mornings. And I think that what he was doing is he was asking God, who was he going to meet that day? And what miracles was he going to produce that day? And he would get that insight and direction from the Father. He saw miracles as everyday events because they were simply a change in perception from hurting to healing, given as an expression of love. So Jesus never doubted that he could work miracles because he started out by loving every person that he met. He saw them, he saw the Christ in them. He never saw them as someone who was racked with pain. He never saw them as a person with blind eyes. He didn't see them as a lame person who had not been able to walk from birth. Every person brought their suffering to him, and in turn, he brought his perception of their reality to them, and they were healed physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Jesus was also a master teacher. Maybe that's actually his first claim, or what he wanted us mostly to know, because he taught the people, and those who had ears to hear could hear what he had to say to them. He's famous for saying in the Sermon on the Mount, "You have heard it said," and he would then go on to share about a particular, a Mosaic law that dealt with a particular situation. But then he would add, "But I say unto you," and then he would reinterpret that exact law through the lens of love. All of Jesus's teachings had to do with forgiving and loving people, even our enemies. And that was easy for Jesus to do because he knew that there was not a single person in this world who lived then, who lives now, who actually is our enemy, because we're all one Son of God, just appearing in different forms here on the earth. So how does it help us to have heroes to look up to? Well, it empowers us. Nothing is off limits for us. If someone else has done it, we can do it too. Jesus actually told us that. He said, "You will go on to do greater things than the things that I have done." In the last video I did, which was called "Who Made This Insane World?", I told the story of a woman who shared that she had looked around the room she was sitting in, and suddenly everything became alive to her. The chair she was in, the pile of clothes on the floor, the curtains, and she said she just saw them as living things. She could feel them, and they were blessing her. She could sense that. So ever since I read about her story, she became my hero in terms of me starting to want to see things differently, animate and inanimate objects. So today, as I walked along, I thanked the sidewalk I was walking on and the shoes I was wearing for supporting me. And I could feel something different in the gratitude that I was offering them. They seemed more alive to me. I saw a little hummingbird in the trees way up ahead, over my head, that was flitting from flower to flower in this blooming tree. And I just thanked them for being there in the same space that I was in. Somehow the air seemed sweeter after I gave thanks to them. So things are becoming more alive to me because I'm following my hero of this woman who I will never meet on this earth. It's just, the 4-minute mile is a great example of this. The first man to run a mile under 4 minutes was Roger Bannister, who ran it in 3 minutes and 59 seconds in 1954. But by doing something that others thought was impossible, Roger inspired other athletes to do something that they didn't know that they can do. And as of June 2022, the 4-minute barrier has been broken by over 1,700 athletes. All the heroes in our life inspire us to go and do likewise. They paved the way for us, and there is nothing stopping us but our own limiting beliefs. The only sacrifice we need to make is our fear of failure. Let's let go of all of our suffering, all of our loss and sadness, all anxiety and doubt, and freely let God's love come streaming into us. Just know who you are, brave son and daughter of God, and say to yourself, I am strong, I am able, I am happy, I am living the best life ever. Whatever you want as your goal, add that to the two words, I am, and believe that that actually is who you are in this moment. And then take the action that you need to take to make that goal your reality. Honestly, that's why I have this YouTube channel. I'm doing something, sharing my experiences, my God journey with you. I'm doing something that I didn't think was ever even possible, honestly. And here we are together, which is blessing my life so much. So let's step out into this brave new world together. And if we have a momentary doubt, let's just picture ourselves as a 4-year-old child wearing a Batman t shirt. And for that little child, there is nothing impossible for them. I love you so much. Go and be blessed today. Hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment. Just have a wonderful, wonderful day, knowing that nothing is impossible for you. Go and be blessed. Bye bye.